I'm hoping you guys are being safe. Yes, as our country, our nation is going through this pandemic, actually all over the world. So I just wanted to kind of put a little bit of a reminder to please still wear your mask, do gloves. If some facilities have and use PPE, do that. Um, do all those things to protect you and your family. You know, in some places they're doing the N95. Wear these when it's appropriate, and that'll keep us all safe, keeping us 6 feet or so or more with social distancing. Yeah, so I got my COVID shot last Wednesday, and I did pretty good. I go for my second one in a month. So if you're able to get your COVID shot, hey, I'm not a physician. I recommend it. It's just up to you all. But yeah, just to protect us even more. So I just want to put my little mask on. It's my nursing mask, as you could tell. Be safe. All right, I'm gonna take it off so I can really talk to you guys. So this morning we are going to talk about top mistakes that healthcare workers make, the additional stress that they may put up with, they may go through, they may experience, and many times we're busy, we're moving, we're trying to meet deadlines. There's not enough nurses. There's such a large amount of nursing shortage. I believe they've been able to make do, but I'm here to encourage you that you be all that you can be. Definitely take care of yourself, be safe, and others, okay? So the top additional mistakes that we make as nurses, and just this is something for you to think about. It's not anything to be negative, but just to be mindful and write these things down. It will help, okay? So the top mistakes, many times, even with new nurses or our veteran or seasoned nurses, it can be they can have and experience difficulty connecting, and that could be due to lack of confidence, being not feeling like you're in the clique or you're in the game, if you will. You just don't feel like you're important now because you feel that I'm just a new nurse, I don't know enough, and you just kind of isolate yourself, and which you need to be not isolating yourself, learn how to work with your teammates, and it may be a struggle, but just know if you can work with these people and get through to take care of these patients, you'll win. It helps, and if you're not willing, sometimes we struggle with the pride, or we struggle with being entitled. So there's some nurses and some people that struggle because they have lack of confidence. They're very timid, they're very shy. But then you have these other people, and I'm just comparing two types. I'm sure there's others where they may struggle with pride and entitlement. They may feel like they know everything, It's okay that you know what you learned, but it's good to connect with people so it makes the things that you're trying to accomplish well together. Okay, so that was point number one. That's one of the mistakes as nurses, especially new nurses. They tend to disconnect with others because they may feel timid, they may feel fearful, or they may be struggling with some other characteristics or behaviors, such as, feeling proud or entitled. I've arrived, and nothing won't happen unless I'm there. So we got to learn how to humble down, be meek and low, and what that means is sometimes we have to swallow our pride, and be able to say, hey, I need this help, or hey, I need this person to help me, because our goal is to make sure the patient is safe and well taken care of at the end of the day. Okay. Point number two. Okay. Many times, day by day, like I mentioned with the nursing shortages and the stresses and the anxiety and the fears and not knowing whether you're going to have a job or not, things like that. At this point, I don't see us having an issue with job security, but I don't live across the world. I live here in Texas, so things may be a little bit different where you came from. Okay. If you're not learning how to deal with stress and anxiety due to the overflowing of hospitals, due to the nursing shortage, some people struggle because they're nursepreneurs. They may be struggling with issues in their personal life. and just learning how to face that day to day without getting upset, getting an attitude, having some type of behavior. That's, learn how to fix that. And what you do, learn how to meditate, learn how to pray, learn how to conquer that struggle. And one of my struggles I've been crushing is disbelief. I've been crushing disbelief. Anything that I've been struggling with, that in my mind, or have told my mind that I can't make it, or I can't do this or that, or I can't lose weight. That's one of my biggest things, staying happy, and being healthy. My family, I come from a big family. They're pretty much obese. They're pretty heavy women and men. But it's still, the thing about it is just making sure that you be healthy, and learn how to face those struggles when you're at your job, or in your career, or at your clinic, or you're just working your nursepreneur business. Just being able to learn how to face the day-to-day struggles, and just being able to validate them, say yes, it's I'm having a hard day, or I don't know what to expect when I get to work. But if you change your mindset on the positivity, and the more you do it, you will crush that negativity. You will be able to say, I am a great nurse. Use your affirmations, write down your affirmations. When you continually do that, change your thought processes and using spoken words, it will encourage you. It'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel better. People will want to be around you. But if you're being sucked in, or not able to face the day-to-day because you may be working off some past, past techniques that's really not working anymore, and that's very powerful. I've been learning that, things that we deal with in life, the afflictions, the struggles, the pain, and when it's time to us to move up physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, moving up in our mindset and how we perceive things. Sometimes we may be working in the same behavior, the same characteristics. We didn't switch over, we didn't transition, we didn't transform to that place of peace because we're still struggling with how we're dealing with in the past. We still have an attitude. We're still, even though we've gotten blessed and gotten a management position or whatever you had to do to achieve this good stuff, but we're still working in the same old attitude, old behaviors. So I'm encouraging you to switch that mindset so it'll all come together, and if you're having a struggle with, pray and ask God to give you that wisdom. Pray and ask God to give you that understanding how to transition, to transform from this negativity to a positive. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Okay, all right. That was point number 2. The other one, this is a real big one. Real big, I believe. Some healthcare workers, whether you're a nurse, a caretaker, or physician, may have this fear of safety concerns. You can't really function and flow because you're worried about making medication errors, incidents. There may be increased infections. You may be concerned about transmitting or transmitting that the COVID or anything that you may experience, especially if you had that issue in the past. And I've learned, a lot of times when people experience medication errors, include myself, I know I was new in nursing, and I still had to learn. And I'm sorry, I want to introduce myself real quick. Let me back up a little bit. My name is Angel. I'm the mindset coach for Christian healthcare workers. So I help those workers, Christian healthcare workers, to defeat stress and anxiety, to feel good, to be happy in what they're doing and how they're functioning. So I've been a nurse almost 30 years, and I know a thing or two about how to tackle the struggle, how to tackle the pain, with everything that I've learned and how I've grown Yeah, so I'm not, my disclaimer, I'm not a physician, but I am a nurse, and I've been a nurse a long time, and that I'm using my everything that God has given me, my abilities, my career, my education, my mental thought processes or faculties, anything that I can use to be able to be a help to you all. So yeah, I just want to throw that in. So yeah, be mindful about medication errors and incidents and increased infections. Use your gloves, put your mask on. Some places are having us to fully dress. Be in the gown, so we put the N95, we put the gown on. Sometimes I even triple glove. It just depends on what I'm working with. If I'm dealing with a lot of wounds and a lot of drainage, or I'm having to help that individual to be able to not only change their dressing, sometimes you have to assist in helping them give them a bath or clean them or getting them clean, or performing any type of incontinent care, so I just kind of triple glove, and after I'm done with that, I take that other one off. The other one's still clean, it's not contaminated. No, it's not a sterile thing at that moment, but put your sterile gloves on for a sterile procedure. But if you're just doing basic care, then you use your gloves. So N95, gown, gloves, shoe covers, and then if your facility offers the surgical hat, use those. Okay, so just be mindful. Try not to get too anxious or worked up. Mistakes will happen. They will, but just don't let it get the best of you. Just being mindful, double check yourself. Remember the 5 rights. The right patient, the right route, the right dosage, knowing their medication interaction, and then the 5th one, it's been a while, just being mindful of what that medication is. So, I'm going to go over again, knowing the medication, knowing the dose, the frequency, know some of the medication side effects. Some of them have a pretty long list of side effects, but just being aware, because you have some patients, they will want to know what will happen to me if I take this, or what could happen to me if I take this. So just, know a few things. It just puts you in authority, and it puts you knowing, being confident, and knowing that that you know your stuff, and that patient is carefully monitored, carefully taken care of. The risk of having medication errors or incidents will decrease, to the point, because you're taking that extra 15 minutes. I feel if I've moved too fast, moved too quick, rushing, if it's not an emergency situation, I found in times past that I made mistakes. So just be mindful, be careful. Don't be fearful of making mistakes. We're all human. Things happen, but just take your time. Be mindful. Many years ago, I made an error, and I'll be done with it. Many years ago, I made a mistake, and I just had medications, and I was a charge nurse, and then I not only was a charge nurse, I had 8 patients myself. So when you're in that situation, or built in that situation, it makes it kind of hard. Now these times, like I said, that been over 20 years ago. I've been a nurse almost 30 years, something like that, 15 over 20 years ago. In the current moments, I've seen and have heard that usually the charge nurse don't have any patients, or they may have 1 or 2 patients that they can manage while assisting and being in charge of that staff, making sure the patients are being taken care of as well as you. So many years ago, it was just like feast or famine, and when it happens, you definitely can, there's a high risk of making mistakes, but just take your time, pace yourself, get clear understanding and direction on what the charge nurse or your employer's expectations are. So yeah, so these are a few of the mistakes I wanted to go over. There's top mistakes that could have caused additional stress. If you're having a struggle with being a team player, that could be a problem. Not asking for help. You can't do it by yourself. It takes all of us to do it, to do a good job and take care of our patients. Understanding when you're facing day-to-day struggles or pains, how to be able to eliminate that, through prayers, through meditations, through preparing your mindset, through planning ahead, doing those things, as simply as preparing the night before. If you still iron your clothes, set your clothing out. Prepare your children, get your children ready at night. If you have to prepare their clothes, or if they're older, are 8 or 9 or 10 years old, and a little bit older, you can train them on how to prepare the night before. Teach them how to put their clothes out and things like that so they can be ready, and teaching them how to comb their hair or whatever. Just little things to kind of make the transition when you get to work easy. Because I've noticed and seen when the personal life begin to kind of shackle up or have problems, it spills over into our career. It spills over into our business. You may be going through a divorce. I've talked to someone, they having struggles in their relationship. It's a lot, when you're dealing with your personal life. But I wanted to mention these top mistakes. Let me see if there's anything else I want to mention regarding it. Let's see. When you're put in a position to have have mandatory overtime, just being mindful and careful. Communicate with your employer. You may be having struggles with feeling unsafe due to violence or brutality in the workplace, domestic violence, sexual harassment. Report those to the right authorities or people that can help you through that. There may be a demand of working these overtime hours or just, dealing with the nursing shortage. When you're tired and when you're fatigued, you don't have mental clarity. You don't have mental peace because you're struggling and you didn't get a good night's rest. Try to go to bed earlier, Sometimes we have to get on a little schedule until we have some type of routine in place. Okay? All right. So those are some of the few top mistakes, and this is really heavy. You don't need that unneeded pressure. You don't need to have to deal with something like that. And it may take time for you to disengage and redirect those energies or redirect your emotions, and that's okay. You can be transformed by using spoken words and through your thought processes, converting those negative to positive. So, yeah. You all have a wonderful day. My name is Angel. Check out the other replays. Do #live. Connect with me. Let me know how you're doing. You take care. God bless.